Meditech Musings. Thanks for joining us. We go for 30 minutes. My name's Leanne Mallett. I'm the head of the training team at Meditech Training College. And joining me is our very experienced case manager, Mitzi. And what we do is we go through some workplace scenarios and we try and solve some problems so that hopefully that helps build your skills and knowledge when you're working out there in the field for Meditech staffing. So thank you for joining us. So firstly, what do you think number one is? So you can use the chat if you want to put your answers in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves. It's up to you. So part one, what do you think it is? Haha, we're going to be stumped. I'll tell you what, let's see if Joe Nathan, he said it's the mouth. Who would agree with that? I think that is the mouth. Yes. Number two. Does anyone agree that that's the liver or disagree? Because I think it is the liver, looking at the answers here. Three, see that tiny little thing in there that can cause so much problems is the gallbladder, depending on diet and everything like that. Four, you've got the large intestine. And then five, that's right, yes, five being the esophagus. All right, six. Looks pretty small. I thought my stomach was bigger than that. But there's the stomach. It can be bigger than that on occasion. Seven, the pancreas. Eight, the duodenum. Nine is the small intestine. And 10 is the anus. So let's see. Joe Nathan got it all right. Well done, Joe. All correct. I'll post that up there. Okay. The next scenario we're going to talk about, I'll go down the page this time. Start right at the beginning. Now, this week we're focusing on infection control. So what I'm thinking is I put the question there, what are 4 ways you can avoid infecting elderly and disabled clients? And Mitzi, you might just need to talk to the answers for this one, unless anyone wants to come in by using the chat box or unmuting, feel free. Somebody's put something in there. Mouth, liver, well done, Dinah. So, yeah, 4 ways you can avoid infecting the elderly and disabled clients.
Using PPE.
Using PPE.
Mask. Gloves.
Which is your masks, gloves.
Yeah, but also always washing your hands continuously.
Yes.
Change your gloves when you're changing tasks.
Yes, to wash hands. Change gloves in between tasks.
Yeah. If you're going from one home to the other, ideally you would be using shoe covers as well. If you're not well, call in sick, do not go to work with cold and flu symptoms or stomach bugs or anything like that, because something that's, very light to you could be really, really bad for someone elderly or with a compromised immune system.
And just on that, if you're unwell, call in sick. I know a lot of you are on casual, but did you know that we're offering permanent part-time positions to eligible employees? And if you're on a permanent part-time, you might earn less money, but guess what? You've got consistency of income and you've got sick leave. So if you are sick, you can call in sick and still get paid. So if you want to do holiday pay, and you can study Cert 3 or Cert 4 for free, Cert 3 individual support or Cert 4 disability support. So I think there's some good recommendations there. So practice good personal hygiene as well. Yeah. I'll put that.
Does anyone have anything else to add?
I hope everyone out there is following good infection control. It's in all of our courses. Wash your hands before and after, exactly. And it's not just washing your hands. You've got to follow the right technique for washing your hands. Yeah, so can you speak to that, Mitzi? Where you have to, really get into all the little nooks and crannies and
in between
and down.
Yeah, and up to past your breast.
For 20 seconds.
Yeah,
20
exactly.
seconds. best
30
way to
seconds, or you got to sing happy birthday or something.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be just, yeah, well done, well done. Okay, fantastic. So now we're talking about types of abuses. Now, as a support worker, you need to really be aware of your client's situation. Okay, remember that you can be their advocate. So what I'm thinking about, Mitzi, and this is something that might challenge you, but what are 3 indicators of the different types of abuses among older clients in community and home care settings? So what symptoms should our support workers be looking for signs of physical abuse?
Changes in their behavior.
Yes, if they're non-verbal, perhaps their behavior changes in other ways. Yes.
Their reactions to maybe the person that's
Abusing
causing the
them.
abuse. Exactly.
Yeah. Do they appear
Bruising,
scared when somebody comes into
unexplained
them?
bruising, cuts,
Bruising, yeah. Yeah.
or
And the fear.
Fear, yes. Being afraid of a family member, they might be skittish or jumpy. I mean, anything like that, you don't need to say anything to the client or to the family member, but you need to report it in your progress notes. Yeah, it's really imperative that you do that. Now, physical's obvious. Sexual abuse. What might be the symptoms of that?
a UTI.
UTIs, recurring UTIs.
And physical. It's like something on their private part, bruise,
So they might have
redness,
rashes, yes,
scratch,
or infection, yes.
Yeah.
Or, unusual recurring thrush or UTI or something like that. They might mention it, but do it subtly, You just need to really listen to what they're saying. Yeah.
If they receive PC from you, they may start refusing
Personal
PC.
care. Yeah.
Okay. And they may appear agitated. Their behavior and their demeanor may change when you are helping them, and or they won't let you see them naked.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, doesn't mean 100% that they've been physically, sexually abused, but it's something you need to be monitoring, a change in their behavior. Yeah. Financial abuse. What might be some indicators of that?
The client don't have enough money to pay for the bill and not enough money to buy food, even for the needs, clothes,
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah. So that they get, have a regular income, or they're on, social support money or whatever, but they don't have any money. Yeah. Or there's, they might just say in conversations, so-and-so, she keeps taking $50 out of my wallet, or, you just got to be very mindful and very aware of conversations of the client potentially mentioning it in a roundabout way. But yeah, not having any money for basic needs. Anything else, Mitzi? Financial abuse?
Maybe you might witness a family member, friend, or something, having access to their key card and PIN numbers.
Which can be okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're being abused, that financially abused there.
Yeah.
So,
what's really important, I think, and with any kind of abuse, physical, sexual, financial, psychological, and emotional, you must report every time. Okay. And you must report in a sense, not what you think. Okay. Be factual.
Factual, exactly.
I've seen, I've heard. Okay. I have a feeling it's not really, you need proof as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. That's a really good point, Mitzi, because if this is then pursued and it does turn out to be a case of abuse, then your progress notes are legal documents, all right?
Yeah.
And they're the evidence of what has transpired. So being very factual rather than I think she's being abused is that I witnessed her son take another $100 out of her wallet this week. yeah,
Mm,
or you know, I witnessed that, or I witnessed my client being unhappy with her son taking, or her daughter taking $100 out of a wallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
an idea, maybe if you've been to that client for a long time and you've got a good rapport, okay, and you, for example, suspect financial abuse, maybe just gently ask questions. Oh, I've noticed your son, you know, or daughter, whoever, has a key card. Are you okay with that? You know, is this something common? Does this just happen? You know, do you know, I don't know, like try and gather a little bit of information. You know, straight away
to be
though.
subtle with not being accusatory either, because
Exactly,
Mm.
because you never know. You got to remember, we've got a lot of clients with mental health, so you have to be very careful how you approach.
So that's fantastic. And I think the same with psychological and emotional. It's the same sort of thing. You've got to monitor those changes in behaviour. You get to know your client. You get to know when they're having good days, bad days. So if there is a real obvious change in behaviour that is of concern, you know, perhaps you've asked them, is anything bothering you? Are you upset about something? You know, put it into your progress notes. Nothing about feelings or I feel this or I think that. It's put in the progress notes what you saw.
Okay. And also in the progress notes, guys, I know a lot of you are very worried about writing progress notes because some of you may, English is your second language, you know, and it might not be very strong. You don't need to write an essay, like you don't need to write a story. Okay, you can just put bullet points. I went to Mrs. X today and this is what I saw. Point 1, point 2, point 3.
Yeah. And we're going to do a session on Procura and progress notes in the next fortnight session. So if you want to learn more about progress notes and Procura, I can't say that one, Procura, then come along to that one in a fortnight's time. But what we're looking at on the screen, can everybody see the screen, is an individual care plan, a sample of one, okay? And every week, every fortnight when we have these sessions, it always comes up, read the care plan, okay? So I was just curious, you know, are you all familiar with the care plans? You know, I had a personal situation where, not through Meditech, a carer showed up to my mother-in-law's place, hadn't read the care plan, and just how disheartening that was for my mother, you know, my partner's family, just so frustrating that someone showed up and didn't know the basic information that they should have been aware of before they walked in the door. And that information is put together into a care plan. So every client you're going to see, you really need to ask for a copy of the care plan and then you need to read it. So I'm just wondering if, Mitzi, you can just give me a bit of an overview of the care plan.
Okay, the care plan might give, like, say, for example, it's a client first time that you go. It'll give you a little bit about me. So maybe there are likes, dislikes, trigger words, things to maybe not mention, things that are important to them, you know. Then it's going to have support, you know. It'll say Mrs. X requires assistance with all basic ADLs. Okay, for those of you who don't know, ADLs is assisting with daily living tasks. Okay, so this could be mopping, vacuuming, okay,
Meal
dusting, meal preparation. It could tell you, okay, they use glasses and this person may be really forgetful and it may say where they usually keep them in case they lose them, or they wear a hearing aid. So if you're providing personal care, you have to remove the hearing aid.
So like this example talks about she'll need assistance with putting the batteries in the hearing aid.
Yeah.
She needs translation. You need to use picture cards and language cards. Now, we've supplied those in many of our modules, but if you don't have them, we're happy to send them to you. But there's picture cards that you can use when communicating with clients.
Now, also, it's good to remember, guys, okay, with the clients from a culturally diverse background, Chinese, Vietnamese, French, Spanish, Italian, we have case managers and staff that speak different languages. So if you are stuck and you need assistance, call the office and check.
Yeah, I checked. I have a Spanish-speaking client. Can you give me a few words so I can say hello, how are you, goodbye, or maybe some words, or maybe some words on some communication cards in Spanish and translated for you. So we've got case managers that can help you. So it's really important. So if you read this case plan, so looking at this one, it says she prefers a female carer. Well, that's important to know, isn't it? Yeah. Son currently purchased food. She needs assistance, but independence obviously looks very important to this client. So please make sure you've got a copy of their care plan. It's where you can determine what their goals in life are, what equipment they need, what sort of support they're going to need. And it will tell you things about, how to access the building or the house or the home, what's the preferred way. Should you not, call out in a loud voice, or should you just ring the doorbell or let yourself in? Or there may be a key box that you need to access. So all of that will be in the care plan. So thanks for that, Mitzi.
Just in addition to the care plan, okay, when you go in and you see a new client and you read the care plan, okay, and maybe you notice something that is not correct, okay, let us know in the office, the community teams, so they can advise the case manager, or if you know the case manager's number or email, let us know directly. Sometimes things are missed because there has been a change of case managers, and it could be that the care plan needs updating.
Yes, it needs to be reviewed. Yes. And if you don't tell us, we don't know, and it can get overlooked.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Ali speaking. About the care plan, previously we used to have the care plan in our email, but in Procura, sometimes we find in the care plan just other, OTHER. And how can we understand about it? Just other, nothing else.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, and thank you so much for raising this, you're saying that in Procura, in the old system, you had access to the care plan more easily than in the new system, Procura. You click on other at the moment in Procura, and is the care plan's not coming up, or is not available?
No, not coming up. Other, I click, then a just fresh, plain white page comes.
Yep. You need to let us know that, because is that where they get the care plans from, Mitzi?
I'm not sure where community team put it up.
No, we'll have to investigate that one. So I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Ali Khan, Khan. Yes.
Ali. So maybe Ali, if you can just email me details of that, or email the community coordinators, and then I can investigate that, and then maybe come along to the next session in a fortnight's time.
Happened. Yeah, recently it happened, and I told it was discussed with the Erin, and in that case, he told me you just notify us so that we can send you in the email. So actually, we expect it to have readily. You can just click, and we can read the care plan.
Yeah,
that will be convenient. In not all cases, sometimes it happens just other.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, Ali, and thanks for raising it. So if that's where you get your care plans through the other tab in Procura, then if it's not available, you need to reach out to someone. You need to see it. Yeah.
Also, Ali, you could use your service progress notes and just put it in there. Just say, "Oh, look, unable to open care plan.
Right.
Please update."
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
another thing is that, another thing is that sometimes in my recent service on the, it is 11, yesterday, that was a new client. I went there and he was telling me, "You are a cleaner?" I told, "No, I am not a cleaner. I am a support worker." Then, they didn't tell me. And he didn't have any, the whole house was messy. but he didn't have any vacuum cleaner. I asked for the vacuum cleaner. He told me, "Oh, that is broken. Don't you have with you?" He asked me.
Nothing up my
That's
sleeve. I'll
the
just get that vacuum cleaner out.
yeah.
Ali,
That's it. Yeah.
can I just clarify something? Okay.
Yes.
Now, sometimes clients, participants, will say, "Oh, the cleaner's arrived," or whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, you're not a cleaner. We know this, you know this. Okay, no matter
Yeah.
how many times you correct the person, they will continuously say that. Now, the
Yeah.
support worker role, okay, the
Yeah.
support worker role is there to support people with the tasks they cannot do. And more often than
Yeah.
not, with the
Yeah.
elderly clients, it will be cleaning. You don't have to
Yes.
do a professional clean, but
Right.
a light vacuum, mop, dust,
Right.
wipe some
I
benches.
have no objection about it. They said that
Mm,
things are still cleaner. I don't have any objection. But the situation is that they expect me, I will be well equipped like a cleaner.
Yeah.
So,
So this feedback you have to give to community, or
yes.
if there is a care plan available, okay, it should have the case manager's name. Okay,
Okay.
contact the case manager and say, "Look, I went to Mr. X and
Yeah.
this is what happened. Can you please update the Mr. X, or what should I do next time?"
Or
So
Yes.
he needs a new vacuum cleaner, and maybe the case manager can coordinate the purchase of a new vacuum cleaner with their
exactly.
funding. So
Yes.
that's why it's important to feed it back to Meditech staffing. But yeah, no, you're not meant to have a
Okay.
vacuum cleaner on your back.
No.
You do enough out there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But thanks for raising it, Ali. I really appreciate that. Oh, we're getting very close to
Thank
the
you.
end. So I'm just looking at it. We're talking about dignity and privacy. So how do you
Okay.
maintain your client's privacy and confidentiality? How do you do that? And Mitzi, if you want to talk to it, Ali, or anyone else wants to come in?
First and foremost, okay, you don't talk about your clients to other clients.
Number one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, because the world is very small.
Well,
So,
it's against the law, really. It's
as
privacy.
well as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't, we'll talk about professional boundaries. So privacy, confidentiality, perhaps they might share something with you. You can't then divulge it to anyone. If it's of more of a concern, you have to obviously report it in your progress notes, but you can't, their sister might walk in and say, "Oh, did you hear her say she's got, $10,000 in the bank," or whatever the case may be, or she's about to, blow $100 on a lottery ticket or something like that. So, you've got to keep whatever they're telling you confidential, unless you need to report it because that's your duty of care. So you don't use their names. We don't ever use client names in this forum. So everything is anonymous. Okay, so you don't talk with other clients about different clients. You don't even talk to other staff members about other clients. You only talk to case managers or your direct line of reports. That's when you can talk about it. What about if one of your clients, they have personal choices that goes against your values? And, maybe it is, we've talked about this, it's gambling, or maybe it's alcohol, or maybe it's cigarettes, or maybe it's drugs, So how do you maintain respect of their personal choices in their life and independence? And we've brought this saying out, this term, every time we run these sessions. So Mitzi, do you want to talk about that?
Okay, so usually on the care plan, it will say, okay, alerts, cultural beliefs, likes, dislikes. So you should be informed. Now, if a client chooses to drink, okay, and it's against your values, or smoke or gamble, it's the client's choice. If you are not comfortable going to that client, you don't go. Now, the
Okay,
Charter of
that
Aged
helps.
Care Rights, okay, if you all have read it, has a point in there. You know, I have a right to make my own choices, even though those choices may incur a risk. So no one can tell anyone what they can and cannot do.
And don't hesitate to speak up if you are uncomfortable with that client for whatever reason, based on your own values and beliefs. Yeah,
Exactly.
that won't be held against you. Okay. So you need to be objective. Okay, you need to put those, you know, if you're going to continue supporting a client, you don't believe in their choices, then you need to keep your mouth shut. They don't need to hear that you know, have an opinion about it. Okay, so you need to be objective and do your job professionally. Yeah. And, you know, let them maintain their personal choices and self-determination. So this is called person-centered, and that's the term I was thinking of. Provide person-centered support. It is about them. Obviously, you know, being courteous and dignified with the client. Obviously, that's just, you know, a sign of respect, of course. That's going to maintain their dignity. And I guess this might come to, you know, maintaining their dignity when it comes to personal care. Mitzi, you've got anything to add there with, you know, offering personal care? How can you maintain their dignity?
I've just put on the chat the aged care right. It's number 7, just for you guys if you're not familiar with the aged care rights. There's 14 points and we're governed by it. So it might actually be worth you having a look if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. I'll put it up on the Facebook group. Has everybody joined the Facebook group? Because that's where we will post all the answers to these scenarios. And I'll put those rights up there for everyone to have access to. So, yes, sorry, Mitzi, anything about personal care to maintain dignity, toileting?
Okay, say, for example, you're providing care, personal care, you know, and the person's a little bit self-conscious while you provide the care. You could possibly, if it's a lady or a man, for example, you could get a little face wash or a little towel, place it across their lap, you know, while you do all the other areas. You know, encourage them to do most of the care of themselves, and ask them what you need assistance with.
Yes. Don't
always
assume.
ask.
Yes.
Always ask.
How would you like me to assist you with your shower today?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fall over. I can wash myself. You just hold the hose, or, you know, and if so ask them and involve them. Yeah.
Some clients may need a full assistance, so you will need to wash their private parts. Okay, this can be quite confronting to you, and it can also be quite confronting for the client. Look, an idea of how to do it is, if the client is mobile, maybe with their hands, you know, guide them, grab their hand, you know, put the sponge on their hand. You place your hand on theirs. So while they're washing with their hand, but you're just guiding them.
Yeah, good advice. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you need a refresher, we do have our personal care course that you can always do, all the free courses that we have. So I think that's really good advice, Mitzi. And because we're right on 1 o'clock, we don't want to take up too much of your valuable time. But another fantastic turn up. Just a quick whip around the room. How did you hear about it? Via the Facebook group? What made you come along today?
Thank you.
And how many of you are attending for the first time?
I'm attending for the first time. My name is Aminat. I was sent a message by the office.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I hope that you can come along in another fortnight's time. Like I said, in a fortnight's time, we'll be going through Procura. You can ask questions about the individual care plan and be shown where to access that, as well as about progress notes. And as we've said, if written English is not your strength, don't worry about it. Dot points. Yeah. Be objective. Don't put in what you feel. Put in what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've done. Okay. Be factual. So that will be covered in 2 weeks' time. But until then, thank you, Mitzi, and thank you, everyone. It's fantastic to have you here.